Welcome back to McIntosh. Time for the postgame show. Once again, all presented by our friends at Kaiser Permanente. Kaiser Permanente for all that is you. It was the two blue bloods here in Georgia high school soccer, and it was what we anticipated all the way through. 80 minutes of incredible soccer, back and forth, opportunities all over the place for both sides. 1-0 your final. McIntosh advances out of low left in your bracket, and we'll walk you through what we know. A lot of later starts this afternoon and tonight. So we'll walk you through what we know here on the postgame show, and as things continue to update, we'll let you know that as well. John Nelson here. Maddie Cruz is downstairs on the surface at McIntosh, and she is tracking folks down to have them wander up here for the postgame show. So it looks like it might be a combination of Bunky Colvin, Adan Dollens, Jackson Awtry. So we'll have them coming up here in short order, and we'll talk to them about this great win tonight for McIntosh as they make it into the semifinals, and we'll go through all the opponents. All right, so since we are in 5A, let's talk about 5A. And it is looking like it's going to be Midtown that will be visiting here on semifinal Friday. We had a score of 8-1 in the second half, and Midtown was leading Eagles Landing, so it is looking like Midtown will be venturing down here to McIntosh, left-hand side of the bracket, semifinal Friday here in the GHSA. And Cass and Tucker on the right-hand side of your brackets as you're following through. That one had a late start at Adams Stadium in suburban Atlanta, at northeast Atlanta. And as we follow through here, it looks like we are at the half, tied at 1. It was Tucker's Michael Dowett with a PK, and Cass's Christian Villela with the header off a corner to tie things up at 1. That's the last score that we had with Cass and Tucker. And the winner of that one will take on the winner of Chattahoochee and Decatur. That is the right-hand side of the bracket. So as we have it right now, it looks like it's going to be Midtown visiting McIntosh, and Cass and Tucker tied at 1 at the half, and the winner of that one will get Chattahoochee and Decatur. Chattahoochee, a top seed out of Region 6. Decatur, the 4 seed out of Region 4. So Decatur beats Greenbrier on the road. They beat Harris County and Hamilton, and it is Chattahoochee and Decatur. They are going at it right now in Chattahoochee to determine Chattahoochee High School to determine what will be low right in your brackets as we follow through in 5A. In 6A, we'll just go ahead and climb the ladder a little bit and let everybody know what we know when it comes to all of these other classifications. In 6A, Glenn Academy and Lassiter, big thanks to Steve Waters, the AD down in Glenn County, and he's been giving me updates in this one. And the last update that I got from Coach Waters was in the second half, and it is now tied at 2. Lassiter had a lead. It was back and forth. Lassiter then took a lead 2-1 with 25 minutes to go. Glenn Academy comes back with the equalizer shortly thereafter. And right now, where we are, literally with about 20 minutes to go, it is tied at 2 with Lassiter and Glenn Academy down on the coast. 7 o'clock start. Woodward Academy and Sprayberry. That one is at Woodward Academy. That had a late start. Johns Creek, North Atlanta was also a 7 o'clock start. River Ridge and Riverwood, a 7 o'clock start. All right, we got folks. All right, so we need to rescue the house mic. Can we rescue the house mic? There we go. Okay. Thank you very much. All right, so we'll pass the house mic around. And tell you what, Bunky, you get the headset. Bunky gets the headset. And so, actually, tell you what. So if you would please, Aiden and Jackson, if you would share the microphone. So slide together. Don't trip on the cord because that would be bad, especially with a semifinal coming up. That'd be bad form. So that will be how we'll do this. So we're going to just have all of the everything up and running. So, Bunky, did you catch your breath yet?
Not really. I'm still breathing heavy. What a game.
I mean, we knew coming in that it was going to be, two of the heavyweights of all time going at it once again. Another chapter in this rivalry. Dalton comes through as a 2 seed. You've got the standard bullseye on your front and your back with the undefeated record, and this one was just hammer and tong for 80 minutes.
Yeah. I mean, at this point, sometimes, both teams are very skilled, and it showed through, and the quality showed through at times. But, when you get to a point where neither team necessarily can get through the other. It comes down to will, guts, fight, and I think that's what our guys had. They fought, and we often tell them, champions find a way. Tonight was about finding a way to win.
So you found a way to win. Let's go to the goal scorer here, Adan.
Yeah, I mean, it was a hard-fought game the whole time. It was kind of an unfortunate draw to play it in the quarterfinals. I feel like that was the whole season we were kind of looking at that as a state championship type of game, and it just happened that we got to be at home, and I think that definitely helped.
Have to properly hydrate after a moment like this.
Oh yeah, Bunky has like tons of waters in his room. We go there throughout the day and get a couple bottles of water, some liquid IV.
It doesn't help that we had also climbed the flight of stairs as well.
Lactic acidosis is not your friend this late
right?
in the day.
Yeah.
Run through the goal for me and what it was like, because it was a couple of moments that were paired with one another, and then you end up getting the goal that made it 1-0.
Yeah, we were running down like their throat for a while, and we just kept getting good chances, and then we got a corner, and it went over. I thought Liam was going to head it. But it went over his head, and I kind of just hit it, and I didn't think it was going in. I wasn't really expecting to go in. I just saw it hit the back of the net, and I was just so happy. And
you see how he's visualizing here. He's visualizing with the microphone, and he's going through it with his hand. So
he'll never forget it. He'll visualize it for a long time.
No doubt about it. Jackson, let me ask you: when it came to the defensive end of things, going up against this Dalton team, you knew what you were facing.
Yes,
I'm sure that you've seen about 9,000 minutes of film, and you're watching on your own, staying up until all hours of the night. Wink, wink. Yes, making sure that
I'm tired. Yeah,
it's been a long week.
So so let me ask: how long a week was it, and when that preparation paid off with what you were able to do defensively tonight?
We've been focusing on Dalton from the get-go, from the start of the season. We knew they wanted revenge against us. Obviously, last year we got them, but they ended up getting the state championship. They don't like us. They don't like us. So we were preparing for them for a long time this week. It was a very personal game for a lot of people.
Maddie Cruz, you have the floor. Where are you going first?
I mean, I guess my question's for you, Coach. You and obviously in Dalton as well, you guys have been good friends for a while. What was it like, that interaction, getting the chance to lead up when you found out you would be playing Dalton in this matchup?
Well, Matt and I went to elementary school together.
No way.
Yeah,
wow.
We did. So, and then we kind of went off in different directions when we went to college to play, and so then when we got out of college, we went in opposite directions of the state. But we've known each other for a long time. And I have enormous respect. I mean, he's the winningest coach in the history of Georgia soccer, and for a good reason. He's a great coach, and he's a really good guy. One of the things that I thought was, and I don't mean to avoid your question, I just want to say this. At the end of a game like that, let me just say, last week, it was nasty at the end of the game. This week, just respect from both teams.
Yes.
Coaches,
Absolutely.
players, everybody went, that was a game.
Mm-hmm.
And even disappointed, there was respect.
Mm-hmm.
Even winning, there was respect for the quality. And so that's the great thing about the games with them. I knew that when we beat them at their place this year, the way it happened, it was going to make them hungry. And we had to match their increase. We knew they would get better. And, man, did they get better. But we knew we had to match that. So we've circled the opportunity. As soon as we saw they were going to be a 2 seed, we marked this was going to be the situation, and let's start preparing for it.
Maddie Cruz with Jackson Awtry, Bunky Colvin, and Adan Dollens. Go for it.
I mean, I'll say it, too. I mean, obviously, a huge matchup here. Respect on both sides. I know a lot of y'all might be playing club as well together. What is it like? Do you have any sort of friendships with that on the other side? And kind of going into this game, what was it like getting the chance to really know some of those guys and be like, all right, we're facing off. Let's go.
I mean, yeah, they're pretty far away, so I don't really play club with them a lot. But I mean, we've matched up a couple of times, like a good amount of times the past couple of years. So I feel like it's just a rivalry almost, and it's always just fun to play those type of games as well.
Jackson, you had the extra year in this rivalry. What's it been like for you?
Well, I have a bit of an interesting story. I moved here my junior year, so this was only my third time playing them. But, I mean, it's all respect for them. Every game we play them, it's going out. We know they're going to be the highest quality players that there is. So they're always going to be super technical. You got to be really tight and always focused when you're playing a team like Dalton.
Well, I'll ask you, Jackson, as well. You're one of the captains on this squad. Coming in here junior year, and really making that stance. What was it like for you to be put in this leadership position and growing as a leader on the field?
I would say it comes down to McIntosh soccer. I mean, the morals and the roots behind this team that Coach Bunky has built is just something that, like, someone from afar away, like, for example, I moved from Virginia. I knew moving here that it was going to be a big jump. And I knew, like, I tried to build that relationship with Coach Bunky, and him and I become super tight. Like, this man is someone who's going to mean, like, something very important to me for the rest of my life. So I really appreciate coaches like him and stuff like that.
You mentioned the McIntosh mores and the way of existence. For someone from the outside looking in that might just see region title, championship appearance, second place, state champ, rankings, for someone who just sees that, the physical aspect, and doesn't understand the behind-the-scenes aspect and the mores and the values, how would you break down the off-the-field stuff and what it means to McIntosh?
I'd say there's 1,000 pieces of the puzzle, and some of it is not a one-year thing. It's an ongoing portion, but I think there's some big pieces. One of the things is, in order to have stability in a program, I think you have to have certain things that everybody's on the same page and everybody understands. And so one of the things we start with is what we call our creed, CREED. And it's the first thing is developing a culture where people care about each other. That you may not like everybody on the team all the time, but you care about them. That we're going to be a family, we're going to have each other's back. And little things, from, when we get to practice, we greet each other. We make a point to say we're glad to see each other. We're glad to be here and train. Every week on Monday, they pick a player that they're going to all say something about and why they're important to our team. And so I think it starts with that. Then responsibility, we teach them two things: collective responsibility and personal responsibility. It starts with personal responsibility. Take care of all the little things that you're responsible for. Everything from laying your uniforms out the night before, making sure you got your boots clean, those things. And then once you've got your job done, who can you help out? Collective responsibility. Then effort. And we always say how much effort's needed. More than enough. We need more than enough effort to get this done. And then be enthusiastic about everything you do. You don't get an opportunity to play for long. Enjoy it. And then discipline. Be disciplined to follow through on all those little things. So we start them with that base, and then we make a point. It's got to be about a lot more than soccer. It's got to be about each other. It's got to be about doing the right things at the right times, paying for our mistakes, and then celebrating our successes as a group. That it's not an individual thing. And let me just say this tonight. Jackson normally plays right wing and just kills people. Their number 10, I felt, was hurting us, and so I said, Jackson, you're going to switch. You're going to slide back. We're going to get Carson off. There wasn't, Coach, I want to score a goal. It wasn't. No, he immediately just did it. He knew exactly what we wanted him to do, and he did it. And really shut down the hole that we had that was a problem. That's what's great about this group of guys. I want them to win it really, really bad because they've done it the right way. And so that's just an example. He stepped in there, played his role, and literally shut it down. And so I think we've built a culture where everybody realizes we can't do it by ourselves. We're going to do it together, and we're going to do it by sacrificing. We're going to press when we don't feel like pressing. We're going to do all the little things that we don't want to do. When other teams are, going in the gym because it's too hot, no, we're going to acclimate to the weather. I think all that builds towards it. And then the other thing is, we really emphasize that to be a championship team, you have to take whatever you're given. The refs don't decide it. The other team doesn't decide it. Champions find a way. And so I think they have the understanding that it's not out of their hands. They're going to decide what's going to happen, win or lose. And we're going to accept it together.
And one of the moments that I thought was really cool that personified what you were talking about, when you were discussing what Jackson did tonight, Adan dapped him up. Literally, while you were talking about it. Adan just sits there, little fist bump. That kind of a thing.
Well, even Adan. Adan's normally our number 8. He picked up a card. I'm like, okay, and you're going to slide out to the side. He hasn't played wing the entire year. But we said we think you can combine with Liam and create some problems, so you're going to slide out.
And this was a card with the 15th minute. I mean, this was early.
Yeah.
I mean,
I won't comment on the card.
Grassi's here.
Grassi's here.
Grassi's here to hang out with us. And all right, so we got 3. So really quickly, let me catch up with Mark real quick as he ducks under the cables. When we talked about the creed. Coach talked about the creed and each individual element that is attached to it and the acronym that's there. Aiden's had enough. He's gonna. He's gonna sit.
I think he deserves to sit down.
He's gonna sit down for a minute. We're gonna get you. We're gonna get you guys. I know.
80 minutes.
It's like you guys kind of played a little bit, so we're not going to keep you long. So, Mark, let me ask you this. Coach was talking about the creed. Explained what the creed is. And so when he broke down what the creed is, apply the creed to what happened out here tonight. And how each one of those letters worked. If you can, but you can do both. You can give me an abridged version if you want. But how did the creed work tonight to get you the win against Dalton?
I mean, yeah, I could start by saying the creed's passed down by captains every year from McIntosh. It's kind of a culture thing. So, last year the captains brought it down to our captains. So we kind of continue that throughout each year, and there's kind of like a element of like a standard of McIntosh, and we kind of try to keep that every year. So that, this game, we knew we beat Dalton this year, so we kept that same standard of beating Dalton again.
All right.
So, Mark, so let me help him a little bit.
Bunky's behind you. Hang on. Here we go.
All right. So, caring about each other. How did that impact this game? The fact that, we're going to say we're going to care about each other. Did you think it made a difference?
Yeah, 100%.
How?
We stuck in it together, all of us. None of us went down with cramps or anything. We all hydrated before the game. We did our part before the game to maintain our health and win the game.
Okay.
Next up, it looks like it's going to be Midtown.
Yeah.
They were up 8-1 second half against Eagles Landing.
Yeah.
When I mention Midtown, what comes to mind, Bunky?
I get sick to my stomach. Last year we lost to Midtown.
Mm-hmm.
I got the only red card in my history.
Yes.
As a coach.
I remember that.
And even as a player, I'd never gotten a red card before.
I remember that first game we did here. You weren't able to be here. You got that red in that last game.
You had to observe.
I've never been so miserable as sitting in that locker room waiting, not knowing. And so, two things. Makes me sick to my stomach to think, oh, wow, what happened?
Yeah.
But it's like throwing gasoline on a fire. I'm amped up times 10 that we get to play them in the semifinal here.
Mm-hmm.
And we have a chance to kind of turn that memory into a great memory. Win that game, go to the championship game. I don't think there's animosity against them as a school or as a team, but just what happened to us. And so it's poetic justice that we get to face them in the semi with a chance to beat them to go to the state championship.
And by the way, Mark, if your backpack feels a little lighter, it's because Jackson and Adan felt compelled to hydrate with your water bottle while you weren't looking. So that's what's going. They're taking your water while you're not watching and you're answering questions. All right. So really quickly, let me run through the gauntlet here. I mentioned Midtown. What comes to mind? Bunky mentioned it. You can't copy his answer. But when I mention Midtown, what comes to mind?
I mean, I want to say last year's game.
That's fine.
But
like I said, you can't say Bunky's red card. You can't say that. But when I mention Midtown, what comes to mind?
Last year's game. We kind of took it as just a normal game instead of a very competitive game. We were the better team, and we should have won that game. So we want revenge.
Pass it to your left, and if you would, Jackson. I mentioned Midtown. What comes to mind?
I think it comes with, like Mark said, vengeance. I mean, we got to come in strong. They're going to be a team that fights. We figured that out last year. They had a lot of technical players. Things didn't really go our way last year, a lot of unlucky situations, but we just have to come out strong and fast, and I think things will go our way if we play like we've been playing and don't take them lightly.
As Mark is taking selfies for, I guess, his Instagram account. So Adan?
Yeah, I think so. this year, I think the only players who played pretty much the whole game in that last year's game was Mark and Gabe, and the rest of us had to kind of watch that game and hear about that game from home. So I think everyone just wants like revenge and wants to show that, like prove to everyone, I guess, that we're good enough to beat them. And yeah.
Go hydrate, gentlemen. You've definitely earned it tonight. So, Bunky, thank you once again. It's great to catch up with you, my friend.
Go celebrate
Appreciate you
with
doing
the
this.
crazy fans that you guys have
good to
out
see
there.
you. Good to see you. Go hydrate.
They
Go
made this
hydrate.
whole night a lot of fun. So props
Thanks
to your
again,
fans
John.
as well.
No, thank y'all.
Thank you.
It's been great. And so, post-game show continues. We're going to go over brackets and all this kind of stuff. Game time. We're already getting game times for Friday night. They're already calling game times at 7:30. Okay. All right. So with the scores that we have and the scores that we know, we'll kind of walk through what we've got here and see how things are described with the matchups that we've got.
Well, I do have an update on Lassiter.
Okay, so you have an update on Lassiter.
I got a couple updates on Lassiter.
Okay, cool.
While we were in the middle of that post-game interview session with all of McIntosh, which going to 21-0, by the way.
Uh-huh.
Crazy. Absolutely nuts having a record like that. So just props to the whole McIntosh crew. That's outstanding, and they should be proud of that for everything.
Yep.
But so basically, mention it going into halftime. In the first half, Lassiter was up 2-1. Or 2-0, excuse me.
It was 2-2 with 25 to go.
2-2,
What do you know?
25. Back in the second half, they were able to bring it back. It was 2-1. Then tied it up 2-2.
Yep.
And then Lassiter was able to Lassiter then lost the lead. So now it is 3-2. Lassiter is currently losing right now.
Okay, so that is the update with that one. Let's roll through the brackets as we know them and the scores that we have that have flipped to finals. Still have Midtown and Eagles Landing 8-1, and that one is in the second half. Back and forth games all across the board. And so, all right, so here's what we've got. Here's what we know. So Lassiter, Glen Academy, that one is tied in 6A. That one is tied at 2. Sprayberry and Woodward Academy, and like I said, we have later starts here. So Sprayberry leading Woodward Academy in 6A by the score of 2-1. Johns Creek and North Atlanta, still waiting for that one. River Ridge and Riverwood. River Ridge was up 3-1 in the second half. And so River Ridge right now leading second half. River Ridge at home, low right in your 6A bracket. And so River Ridge leading. So River Ridge, if that holds, Riverwood comes through as a 4 seed. River Ridge leading low right in 6A. So that's where we are in 6A. 5A, we'll update you on Cass and Tucker. That one was 1-1 at the half. Chattahoochee and Decatur is there as well. So, all right, so that's 5A and 6A. In 7A, Campbell and Lambert. Do you have a Lambert update?
Listen. I do. Let me go to the Twitter.
Okay.
Let me go to the Twitter.
Yes.
Oh no!
Uh-oh. I guess I know what's going on there with this
all
update
right,
now.
It's 30 minutes left to play. Campbell is up 2-1.
Okay. So Campbell's up 2-1 in that one. That is upper left.
Come on, Longhorns, let's go.
Archer and Milton is another one of the matchups. That is low left. The winner of the Lambert matchup plays the winner of Milton and Archer. And that one, last time I saw, was 1-1, and I'm trying to see if there's any kind of an update with that one, but I saw a 1-1 score that was posted with that, so we'll keep you there with that one.
I will say, if Milton comes through with that one, you'll see another rematch between Lambert and Milton, which we called earlier in region play. And as always, when I was growing up and going in through Lambert, that was a huge rivalry game in all sports. So getting to have that, and I don't know exactly where that will be played, but if that happens, that one is definitely going to want to be one on the radar for sure.
7A upper right, Discovery is leading Grayson in the second half. That one is a 2-1 score. Winner of that one gets the winner of Kennesaw Mountain and Colquitt County. That one is in Moultrie, and that was also another late start with Kennesaw Mountain and Colquitt County. Single A, Class A D1 boys. The one girls matchup that we did not have upper left, Social Circle got the win 8-1 over East Lawrence upper left, and so Social Circle advances on the boys' side. Waiting for a score on East Lawrence and Paideia on the boys' side upper left. So girls Social Circle advances upper left, waiting for Paideia and East Lawrence. Winner of that one gets Mount Vernon. Mount Vernon as the number 3 seed in Region 6 5-0 winners at Woodville-Tompkins on the coast. Woodville-Tompkins season ends after getting victories in their first 2 rounds. That's the left-hand side. Waiting for Whitfield Academy and Lamar County in Barnesville, and Jeffco and Atlanta International. And last time we saw Atlanta International had the lead in that one against Jeffco. That one was 3-0 at one point that we had as a score. Still waiting for the end result in that one in Class A D1 boys. What else is on your mind? I can keep going.
On my mind, it was Social Circle for girls.
Yes.
Is that, correct me if I'm wrong, that is in which region?
That is, Social Circle would have been, you had to ask me that one. Social Circle is Region 5. Yeah, that's Region 5.
So would they play Jefferson?
No. This is Class A D1.
Class A D1.
You're looking at class.
Yeah,
so Class A D1. Yeah, so Social Circle,
confused.
Class A D1. No,
I
it's
apologize.
okay. Class A D2, we have 3 of the 4 teams. Atlanta Classical Academy beats Wheeler County in Alamo by the final of 7-1. And the winner of that one, ACA, goes to Pearson to take on Atkinson County. Thanks to AD Carl McGowan for giving me the scores there. He was at the match. Atco beats Fuji's Academy 2-1 in Pearson. So ACA will travel to Atco, left-hand side of the bracket, Class A D2 boys. And the really cool story at Atkinson County, the boys' head coach is the girls' cross-country coach at Atkinson County. So very, very cool stuff there. Awesome. ACA is going to Atco, left-hand side of the bracket, all dotted up. Georgia Military, big winners tonight over Macon County. That one sends GMC, and GMC will play the winner of Eccles County and Christian Heritage. That one was being played in Dalton as Eccles County made the road trip from Statenville, from the southern part of the state to the northern part of the state, waiting for Eccles County and Christian Heritage. Class AA, the one girls match that we were waiting for from yesterday. Ace Charter, 2-0 winners over Landmark Christian. So Ace Charter goes into the semifinals on the girls' side. On the boys' side, it was back and forth, an early lead for Fellowship Christian at Fitzgerald, and right now that one is tied in the second half. Fellowship Christian had the lead on the Purple Hurricane. That one is now tied at 2. Winner of that one takes on Toombs County. Toombs County will host as the top seed out of Region 3, 3-0 winners at home in Lions against Drew Charter. So it will be either Fitzgerald or Fellowship Christian at Toombs County. Right-hand side, late start with Pierce County at Model, still waiting for a score on that one. And I think we actually had a final in that one. Model won 2-1. So Model wins 2-1. So Model, as the top seed out of Region 7, they're going to play the winner of Providence Christian and Jeff Davis. And it looks like Providence Christian and Jeff Davis are in PKs. This one was a 1-0 lead early on for Providence Christian. And then Jeff Davis gets the equalizer. They go through 100 minutes, and it doesn't solve anything. So Jeff Davis, right now at home in the Pinelands, Los Catch Dogs, are in PKs going up against Providence Christian. Winner of that one is going to advance. If it's Providence Christian goes to Model. If it's Jeff Davis through the end of PKs, Jeff Davis will host in Hazelhurst Model, and that will be what's going on in AA. AAA waiting for a score with Bremen and Pike County, and the winner of Bremen and Pike County will take on the winner of Savannah Country Day and Hebron Christian. That one is at Hebron Christian, so we'll keep an eye on those as we go. Oconee County, Morgan County, that one is on the right-hand side. That was a 7:30 start. Oconee County leading Morgan County by the score of 1-0. Coahulla Creek and Columbus, they are going at it on the low right-hand side of the bracket. No update on that one. Once again, a late start in the Western Frontier. That gets you through AAA. Quad A, it was LaGrange upper left taking on Northwest Whitfield. That one is in Tunnel Hill, waiting for a score on that one. And a back-and-forth game that has been a real surprise, low left, with Whitewater and Johnson Gainesville. Johnson Gainesville actually was trailing at one point in this match after they had the early lead. And it was, once again, Jason's choice for Player of the Year in the state of Georgia. He got the first goal on the board. Not at the moment. You're not fighting anybody on this side.
All right, just making sure.
Yep.
Fight people if they disagree.
Well, if anybody disagrees, then I think they're going to have to answer to all of us, frankly, because Johnson Gainesville had a 1-0 lead. Edgar Vasquez, the 20-yard free kick. Have you heard that one before? That's what we figured. So Vasquez scores on a 20-yard free kick to give Johnson Gainesville the 1-0 lead, and then Whitewater scored twice in 47 seconds. Twice in 47 seconds to take a 2-1 lead. It was 2-1 at the half. 2-2. Castillo scored a goal off the assist from Trujillo. The match was tied, and then with 10:45 to go, Jason's Player of the Year got a brace. Got a brace. and guess how he scored it?
A free kick?
A free kick.
Oh. Listen.
So Vasquez, brace, 2 free kicks, 10:45 to go, and they took the lead 3-2. And it was 3-2 with 5.5 to go. Johnson advances after the scare.
Oh.
So Johnson Gainesville tested by Whitewater, and they end up with the Duke.
I told y'all.
That's what we're saying. Region 8, team number 1, Johnson Gainesville. They advance. They'll get the winner of LaGrange and Northwest Whitfield on the left-hand side of the bracket. Challenged. Very, very interesting that you end up with a challenge like this. You sit there and have it as lesson plan for later when you get challenged in a match like this.
Well, also, too, Johnson was also playing at home. Mm-hmm. Had the home advantage. And so I think that also says a lot about a team being able to rally back and being able to get as much as they did on the board and be able to rally back after they were able to get in the Whitewater Wildcats were able to make it 2 goals in less than how many seconds?
47 seconds.
47.
Yep.
Getting the chance to come back and really battle that out. But, I mean, we saw that with Johnson all year. They're able to do stuff like that because they are crazy good. And crazy, and, I mean, I don't even know. They're just, I definitely have them very much towards the end because I just think they're a very phenomenal team with how they've been built up this season. It's been fun to watch.
Right-hand side of the bracket, Stars Mill and Holy Innocents. Holy Innocents had the lead.
I'm going to interrupt.
Yes?
The 2 best teams in the state on the boys' side are McIntosh and Johnson. Thank you. Goodbye.
But once again, but the
Jason
thing is,
did the Irish goodbye.
But that's not even an Irish goodbye.
He's still
That
here.
was a goodbye. He was out the door. But I mean, the thing is that neither one of us will disagree with that statement, considering everything that we've seen in our 32 match days this year. Jason,
the Georgia high school coaches poll, and River Ridge is a very good team as well. Johns Creek is as well. 2 teams that we're taking a look at in 6A, but. We've seen McIntosh multiple times. We've seen Johnson multiple times. I think they are a cut above. I think those are the 2 best. It's not a huge margin back to River Ridge and Johns Creek. I think that's your best 4. But in my opinion, McIntosh, 21-0. That's the best team in the state. I'd love to see a game between McIntosh and Johnson because I think it's the 2 best. Vasquez is the best player in the state. McIntosh is the best team in 2024. Both still have work to do to win state titles.
And so Jason saying his piece, but he's not going to get any disagreements here. By the way, we do have an update. I wish we had an update klaxon that we could use in these situations.
I can, knock on something.
Well, I mean, it needs to be like something of a horn-based device.
I'm not doing it.
Glen Academy beats Lassiter by the final of 3-2, upper left in 6A. So Glen Academy, top team out of Region 2. They will advance, and they will take on the winner of Woodward Academy and Sprayberry. If Woodward Academy wins, it will be at Woodward Academy. If Sprayberry wins, it's on the coast on the left-hand side in 6A. A couple of other, Quad A is the only other classification that we don't, that we haven't told you anything about what's going on. Westminster and Bainbridge is low right in your brackets, and Westminster had the early lead 1-0, and that has carried over to the second half. So Westminster leading at Bainbridge 1-0 second half. So that's where we are. We do have some of the teams that have made it through. We've got some of the folks that have tried to advance. We figured out where they are. Update Columbus over Coahulla Creek. That one is now a final. That one is 2-0 as you're filling out brackets once again. Low right-hand side.
I also have a final as well.
So Columbus scored twice in overtime?
Yes.
So Columbus wins 2-0 in overtime. Second time So it's another big contest for Columbus. The girls' overtime last night, boys' overtime tonight. So Columbus advances, and they will host the winner of Oconee County, Morgan County. Oconee County was leading that one last time that we had a score.
I also have an update.
You have an update. Update, Claxon.
Final at Lassiter. Glenn wins 3-2 when Lassiter had the 2-0 advantage going into half.
So Glenn Academy came back to win 3-2.
Glenn Academy comes back to win 3-2. Whitfield Academy, 6-0 winners over Lamar County.
Yep.
I don't know if you had that.
Did not.
Last I got out of the Dalton area, Northwest was winning 1-0 late.
Okay.
That was a while ago. I've not seen a final on that.
Okay. So that is where we are across the board.
Did you get the River Ridge final?
That I had 3-1 River
3-1,
Ridge.
it is final now.
Okay, so River Ridge advances.
And I will say, credit to Jason's point as well, looking at the records of River Ridge and Johns Creek. River Ridge overall record 18-1.
Yep.
Johns Creek 19-0-1. You have McIntosh, who's 21-0, has won every single game. I think them not being considered for the coaches poll is a little crazy.
Yeah,
I mean, they're unbeaten in everything, not just region, but overall. They have come back in and they've battled back through all the teams. I think that if anyone is listening from the coaches poll, definitely consider it.
Poll.
Hey, listen.
Hey, coaches poll.
But what do we know?
Maybe we should be a part of polls and what folks need to go. But now that we've made the cycle with all the matchups, giving you some of the finals, giving you some of the partials, and got you set up, when we know where we're going to be on semifinal Friday, we will let you know. Right now, we know our Thursday matchup. We will be at West Forsyth for North Gwinnett and West Forsyth. That is a later than normal start. I believe it's a 7 o'clock start at West Forsyth. So Thursday night, 6:45 pregame show, and that will be match day 33 for the SDH Game of the Week presented by our friends at Kaiser Permanente. Pre, half, and post will carry us through, but 7A girls will be match day 33 for us with North Gwinnett and West Forsyth. Final thoughts, Jason, not on a mic before we go.
I can get to a mic.
Okay, then get to a mic before we go.
Great season for Dalton. A great recovery. They've had a lot of ups and downs to get this far. Definitely nothing to feel bad about losing to the best team in the state in McIntosh on their home turf. It was a great year for Matt Cheeves, probably one of his better coaching jobs with what he had to deal with this season with injuries, with players coming and going. But McIntosh is a buzzsaw right now. They are really good defensively. They find ways to get goals. They're the top team. Johnson getting tested. It's only going to help them as they continue to try to go through in 4A. River Ridge really got tested by Riverwood. Big-time performance from Riverwood to go as far as they did as a 4 seed. It's been a fun ride as now we're down to the final 4 on both sides, boys and girls, this weekend, and can't wait to see who gets to the finals.
All right. Final thoughts, Maddie Cruz.
Oh, it was a fun game. I knew when we picked this one was going to be fun, and it was a nail-biter. It was a lot of fun. The atmosphere was great, and I'm looking forward to it. I'm excited for the rest of it. It's going to be a lot of fun, and yeah, semifinal Thursday and Friday is going to be hectic, crazy. You circle it, all the above. It's going to be a lot of fun.
And so when Jason turns the lights on, it's time to go. Yes. So we're out of here. For Jessica Charman, for Jason, for Maddie, I'm just John. Thanks for hanging out with us on Quarterfinal Tuesday. We'll see you semifinal Thursday from West Forsyth. Play it safe, everybody. Mucha Platiel. Thanks for hanging out with us here on the SDH Network.